Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining me again. If you're returning, and for joining me if you're a first time visitor of my channel. I'm Jasmine. I am the host of the Ethereal Pathways podcast. Welcome. I'm continuing on a mini series on the chakra system of the body, and I'm doing a it's a mini series, and I'm doing an episode this week on the throat chakra. Obviously, I'm still working on it, but I wanted to kind of go, first of all, apologize for some things that I've been going through. I've had to take a couple breaks recently and was going through a lot in my personal life, and still am. And I just kind of wanted to, apologize for my absence. With all this stuff going on in my life, I've had to take a couple breaks recently. So I'm trying to get back at it, back in the flow of things, and trying to continue on my mini series. So I will probably share a little bit in a future episode about what's been going on in my personal life, in case you're knowing. All right, so we're continuing on the throat chakra. Throat chakra is located, it's pretty much self-explanatory, the throat area. The base of the throat. It governs the area of the body that it affects is going to be your neck, your thyroid area, mouth, ears, anything going on in that part of your body typically will reflect blockages or things that are going on with your throat chakra area. Which means you're not speaking your truth, or you're not voicing your opinion or getting things off your chest the way your spirit wants. You really need to. So the element associated with this chakra is ether. So it's not physical. It's space. It's like ether. The color associated with it is a bright or deep blue, and it symbolizes clarity and truth. So you're speaking your truth. I think that's pretty cool. Symbol, sometimes it's like a yogic kind of symbol you might see associated with this chakra is a lotus with 16 petals, a downward pointing triangle, and a circle containing the seed mantra hum. The core focus of the throat chakra, obviously, like I said, is speaking your truth, being the most authentic version of you, voicing the most authentic version of you in words. And also it, governs actively listening. It's not just a speaking your mind and sharing your opinion and what matters to you. It's also sitting back and receiving and listening and paying attention to other people and receiving their input as well. I think that that's pretty interesting. And also is, creative expression through the throat chakra. Signs of a balanced and imbalanced throat chakra. When balanced energy flows freely, you're easily able to speak your truth when needed in the moment, facilitating honest and meaningful interactions and communications with others. An imbalance can lead to various physical and emotional symptoms. Balanced, confident communication, excellent listening skills, authenticity, creativity, and a general sense of feeling heard and understood. Blocked or underactive throat chakra can show up like fear of speaking your truth, shyness. Throat chakra is something I've really dealt a lot with in my life. I still am dealing a lot with the blockages. Difficulty expressing your thoughts and emotions, weak voice. Like, I have a lot of ailments, especially when I was growing up with, I used to get strep throat a lot. And I have like post-nasal drip. It constantly makes me clear my throat. Sometimes that makes me temporarily almost lose my voice. And this is pretty common for me, especially when allergy season. Social anxiety, which I do deal with that sometimes. I know some people are like, really? It doesn't seem like it if they know me. But I have, and still at times, every once in a while, I'll deal with that. And I have to address it, in the moment and kind of compose myself and move on. Or physical issues like chronic sore throats and thyroid issues, which is something I've had in my past as well. I was on thyroid medicine at one point, several years ago. Overactive throat chakra can be excessive talking. I've dealt with the same thing. My daughter deals with that. Interrupting others. I have a bad habit of doing that. So again, this is a big one for me. And I think it's not any coincidence that this is the next chakra that I was going to be speaking on last week, and I took a break because I was going through a lot in my personal life. And just the fact of speaking on the throat chakra, I feel like subconsciously I was stopped, and there was just some blockages coming up there. So for me, this is good that I'm speaking about it now and I'm pushing past this, because it's been a huge, and it is an ongoing huge thing in my life that I'm working through, is my throat chakra blockages that I've had throughout my life. I was shut down a lot when I was a child for speaking, voicing my opinion, even in a respectful way. I was told that that was back talk, even if it was respectful, that if I had anything to say, it didn't matter anything. They didn't want to hear it. My parents didn't want to hear it. They just wanted their way or the highway. And so I was just telling this to, my partner that, just earlier today, that, my daughter is now going through this at 13, and she's struggling. And, she's got mild autism, high ADHD. She's not medicated or anything. So she's going through a lot of these activations and blockages and things that I went through. And I'm trying to fight the old way and push it out the old way, the way my parents handled it. In the process of my spiritual awakening, I'm trying to stop the way that I was raised, stop treating her that way, and start looking at it from a new perspective, and trying to look at it from a higher perspective, more divine perspective of, I'm shutting down her voice box, her throat chakra, if I won't let her voice her opinion in a respectful way. There is obviously going to be common respect there. But I've learned, and I'm still learning, that it's okay to do that. I need to allow her to do that and feel safe at the same time. And so this is huge. This is what's going on in my world right now. And I think it was just no coincidence, like I said, that I had to take a break on the throat chakra last week because of all this stuff going on this week. It just came to a head yesterday in my family and with my partner and my ex, and everything. We had to have like a come to Jesus, so to speak, meeting basically over our daughter, and some things that are coming to a head now with, again, it's the throat chakra stuff. And there was a lot of stories she was telling that wasn't true and things like that. So I think sharing my side of the story and what I'm going through, with the fact that I missed last week's episode because of this stuff going on, I think it's really not really funny, but it's definitely not a coincidence that's the one that I took another one that I took a break on, because that's one that I've been heavily dealing with in this incarnation, in this life. Is heavy blockages in the throat chakra that I'm breaking, these old family patterns that have been carried down generation of not being allowed to speak the truth in a respectful way, voicing your opinion, speaking up for yourself. It actually caused me to be very shy at times when I was growing up. It caused me to feel very self-conscious. I felt like I couldn't be myself. I felt like nobody would accept me if I did. Because I wasn't accepted at home if I tried to do that. And, I just ultimately didn't even know who I was because I wasn't able to speak my truth. And this is so important for people to really realize that if you're not allowed, if you're shut down, you're not allowed as a child, especially, to speak your truth, that's going to create heavy blockages for you and a lot more roadblocks in your life you're going to have to overcome. So I do, and I now see that, especially the last couple years, since I've been going through this most recent spiritual awakening from, encountering my twin flame and, activating, my most recent spiritual awakening and seeing these insights now, seeing the patterns, and now addressing it with my own child, and breaking those cycles. It's huge. That's what we all need to be doing right now. We all need to be working on looking at the patterns, seeing what's working, what isn't working, and seeing the the damages that's caused in your life and your family's, generational, lineage, and trying to change that for the better, trying to come at it from a love perspective and acceptance and, unity, more of a unity, kind of mindful. And it's just really I really didn't understand how important it was to speak your truth until, recently. Now seeing it from a parent's perspective with my own daughter. And now realizing, man, I was shut down. Just like I started to do with my daughter. I was shut down and I wasn't allowed to speak my truth. And that, with me, it showed up differently. But with her, it's showing up a different way. And so now I'm seeing it from a different perspective. And it's huge for me, insights that are coming in for me. So I'm going to continue on reading about this. So, overactive, symptoms of an overactive throat chakra. I've mentioned excessive talking. That's something I dealt with. My daughter kind of deals with that. Interrupting others. We both deal with that. Dominating conversations. I've dealt with that too. I still struggle with it. Gossiping or using harsh language. Yes, all of the above here. Sorry, guys. That's the truth here. I definitely am guilty of doing all of the above. And I still am, and I'm struggling through it. I'm trying to change. And I have grown quite a bit, and I have changed. I have ways to go. We all do. But I just take it one day at a time, one step at a time, trying to be better the next day than I was the day before. Practices, the things that you can do for healing blockages and rebalancing the throat chakra. You can do certain yoga poses. I've mentioned this before. I don't do a ton of yoga. I do some yoga for mostly my lower back, because that's areas that the bottom 3 chakras really were huge for me as well, that I've been still dealing with, but they're getting better. So other things that you could do is you can sing. I love to sing. I absolutely love to sing. That's something that's carrying down in my family's line, musical, genes. My mother used to sing. She was a singer. She and my dad and my biological mother, my late biological mother, was, her and my dad had a band called Pegasus Paradox in the 70s. So, they would sing all types of, 70s cover rock, stuff like that. She was big into Stevie Nicks, Fleetwood Mac. I still carry on the love for that, those bands and that type of music as well. But singing is huge for me. That I have learned, especially the last couple of years, that singing is a way for me to channel my emotions out, get it out, and just express my emotions. If I have a hard time, if I don't know what to do and I feel stuck, a lot of times I'll turn on the music. I feel guided to turn on the music, and I'll just start singing, some of my favorite songs, and I'll just feel tons better after that. So singing is huge for me. You can chant the seed mantra, hum, and I don't know exactly how to pronounce it right. You can hum. My daughter used to hum all the time. Or using sound healing therapies like crystal bowls. I was guided to listen to the crystal bowl frequencies, different ones at different times, on YouTube. You can listen to them for free. I have YouTube Premium, so I don't have the commercials that interrupt. But I would listen to those in my earbuds sometimes at work when I would feel the need. I would be guided to do that. And I'm like, oh, I need to listen to some sound frequencies. I'm feeling a little out of balance and turbulent internally and emotionally. And it was like pretty quickly. I would go into the zone and just, zen out. I call it the zen out. And would be very just calm. It would calm me down. It would, regulate me. So that really helped me as well, the singing sound bowls. Some people don't like them. But I was specifically guided to them. So that's something that was important for me. So you might want to try that if you haven't already. Yoga poses, I think I mentioned that you could do poses to stretch or compress the neck and shoulders that could release tension, including shoulder stand, plow pose, and fish pose. I haven't actually done those, I don't think. So maybe look into that. Meditation and breath work is always a given with any kind of chakra blockage work. You can always do meditation and breath work. Be mindful in your breaths. And that will help bring you in center and ground you. You could also, visualize, the color like a calming blue light. So, affirmations and journaling. Wow, this has been big for me the last couple years. Clearing a lot of these emotional blockages and throat chakra blockages is writing those letters I mentioned a few times in different videos. When I was trying to learned to heal, when I was going through my most recent divorce from my second ex-husband. Writing those letters to the people that have hurt you, make that list of everybody that felt hurt you, that's come to your mind, and writing them all letters as if you're going to give it to them, but you don't have to give it to them. And so that was huge for me, writing those letters. I journal from time to time when I feel guided to. I'm not as much of a written hand journalist, because I don't really write with my hand very often, so I get hand cramps very easily. I type most of the day at work, so during the day, my day job. So typing for me is huge. I can channel, and I can channel messages I get from upper frequencies, beings and my angels and things like that. I get channel messages that way. I also channel my feelings and emotions sometimes in letters by typing them. So you could do that way too. But you can also repeat affirmations like, I speak my truth with clarity and ease. Something else that I've mentioned to this maybe a couple other videos like early on was the Sound and Soulful app. You can get on the App Store or the Google Play Store. They have a free 7-day trial. I think she still has it. Infinity is the one that created it. She has her own channel, Magnetize Yourself, on YouTube. I love Infinity. She has actually helped me through my spiritual awakening and my Kundalini activation, stuff like that, just by listening to her channel, messages. So I started listening, about a year and a half, maybe almost 2 years ago, something like that, to her Sound and Soulful app. And it's a subliminals app, so you don't hear any words spoken. She has like 8 different soundtracks that you can listen to, like the ocean, just different things like meditation music and things. And then she has tons of different subliminal packages in there and you can actually pull up the text of what each subliminal package is speaking. So, on a lower frequency where you can't hear it, your physical ears can't hear it, but your subconscious mind picks it up. And there has been some studies that show that, subconscious subliminal affirmations can help change your way of thinking quicker than physical spoken affirmations. So that really helped me a lot with my shift that I needed to have, from the more material, negative perspective to a more positive, divine, perspective, and more just to have a better self-opinion about myself, have more self-confidence to do stuff like this, to work through my blockages. That really helped me, that app in particular. So that is called the Sound, and it's a little and sign, and Soulful, if you want to look it up in there. And I think it's about $21 a month after the 7-day free trial. So, and you can control that through your Google App Store or your App Store, Google Play Store, or the App Store subscription in the subscriptions in there. So I really like that one. That one really helped me a lot. I would do that when I was doing a lot of the morning yoga and meditations when I first began this journey of my healing through my most recent, spiritual awakening after befriending my twin flame that we're still in separation. I haven't spoken to him almost a year now. That would have been December 9th it'll be a year since I last spoke with him. Anyway, let's see. You can also use crystals and oils, different essential oils. Aquamarine is really good. I love aquamarine. I love lapis lazuli. I've got both of those. You could use turquoise as well. And essential oils like lavender. I love lavender. And peppermint are believed to support healing throat chakra as well. Diet and lifestyle, you can also help with your diet, consuming more herbal teas that have honey. Incorporating more fruits and staying hydrated can support the physical throat area as well. So I just kind of wanted to go through that. This one, like I said, is just a huge one for me. I'm still working on, like I said, blockages in this one and continue to work through it every day. I think that a lot of people out there are now wanting to voice their opinion and speak their truth more and more. And that's something that we should do. We should stand up for ourselves and our rights and our our opinions about how things are going in our world, and in a respectful way. Obviously, you don't want to, blow people up, in the process, but, you know, clearing those throat chakras, that's going to allow us to get to a place where we can actually talk to one another without killing each other over confront things that have, caused us wars and things in the past, different cultural beliefs and beliefs about who owns what. We can, by working through our throat chakra blockages and our heart chakra blockages, we can begin to now sit down and listen to one another, and actually empathetically listen to one another, hear what they're saying, not just in one ear and out the other, and then just voice what you want done. We really need to move past these, reactions that we have, and that takes a lot of healing, inner healing within ourselves, to work on our blockages, our throat chakra blockages, our heart chakra blockages, everything, and forgive the past, forgive whatever has happened, and not carry on the same generational patterns that our parents and our forefathers have done for so many generations. That's what's going to make the change happen on this earth, and we're in the process of making that happen by each of us, like me and you, doing the work on yourself. That's going to help the collective as a whole, because we are all connected on a spiritual level, on an energetic level. We all come from the same creator. And so when one does it, another one does it, it's going to help raise everybody's frequency. It's going to push others in the collective to begin forcing on, in a way, energetically. You're either going to go one way or the other. It's going to push you into a choice point where you're either going to dive into the shadow and you're going to go even deeper into that way, or you're going to go to the light and you're going to break open and you're going to surrender the ego and you're going to see it for what it is. These are old generational patterns and pain and trauma that we have taken on generation after generation that needs to be broken in order for there to be major change that needs to happen in this world. And like I said, we're undergoing it right now. We're already in the birthing process of going through this major change of transformation, both as a collective soul body and as, individuals, souls. So just know that you're not alone. We're all going through this together. The more that I spiritually awaken, I just had this conversation with my partner earlier. The more that we spiritually awaken and we surrender our ego, the more we start to see the patterns in not just our life, but others. We start to see others are going through the same thing. And then you can be more empathetic to what others are going through because you're surrendering and you're allowing the change. And so don't fight it. Try not to fight it. Just surrender to it. Surrender the ego. Say, this isn't who I am. Who am I? Start asking, am I really on a soul level? I want to be love. I want to be the change. And that's what's going to cause the change to happen. So I hope this helps some people out there. And, just really know that you're not alone. We're all going through this, as I say in every episode, just about. If you feel like you want to reach out to me, feel free to do that. My email's listed in the description box. Also, if you want to share a comment, please feel free to do that. Anytime you like, comment, subscribe, please do that. It helps share this with others. It'll help show up the algorithm in front of other people to help them. And so I strongly encourage you to do that if you feel guided to do that. And I just hope that you catch me for a future episode, and I hope that this helped you. And I leave you in love and light. Take care.